guys, this is Massa from the Great White North. So, today I wanted to review the Vanquisher TCG Kickstarter and tell you what I think about it and if you should back it or not. So, as an intro, this is a project that we already looked at. I did a cool interview with the creators. There are a bunch of cool people. So regarding this side of the project, those guys are cool and they were pretty well grounded, at least during the time of the interview. In terms of gameplay, we recorded a tutorial. And just to summarize it, this is a sci-fi kind of Destiny grounded based TCG. You have a guy or a heroine and you have a bunch of guns, you select a hero, and you have some cards that build up your energy, and you use this energy to play some cards or to, not do that much more. Like you play some card, you can build up your defense, you can have some guns, and you shoot your enemy. So that's the premise behind this adventure. And now let's look a bit at what we can get. And I don't want to talk about how good is a game yet or not, because the thing is, I've been waiting for a review set for a very long time. I still didn't get it, and the Kickstarter is finishing in 31 hours at the time of recording. So I'm quite disappointed with that. I guess, I'm not the biggest YouTuber. Maybe I don't know, I thought I was pretty good at reviewing things. I have quite a lot of experience, but after everything said and done, they always decide what they do. So anyway, you can look at the tutorial video and the gameplay videos they posted. I think they posted some. You can see in the bottom. Or if they didn't put some here, they did put some. They have a playlist here. You should see some. Well, those are not, I guess unboxing and stuff. Yeah, they have some stuff here. You can look at it. I guess, kind of first highlight of something I don't like that much is, typically, they are trying to target everybody, which means the player, the collector, and people outside of the TCG segment, hoping to get people that like FPS, people that like sci-fi, people that like video games. I have nothing against that. It's just, if you look at it as a pure TCG itself, I think I would give the game maybe a 4 out of 10 in terms of game itself. My main issue is the lack of interaction, and I don't mind, the fact that we roll dice. That's pretty cool. But the thing is, I shoot, you shoot, I shoot, you shoot, and there is some gameplay in it, but there is not that much you can do in terms of defending yourself, or at least at the level I know the game. And it's just like if you just pick it up, you spend 1 or 2 hours playing it with friends. I would say that might be a bit disappointing because, you shoot. I mean, this is pretty cool. You shoot and they shoot and you shoot, but I don't like FPS. I don't like shooting people for no reason. I like building and strategy. So, compared to Flesh and Blood, which is a pretty similar game, it's a 1 versus 1. In Flesh and Blood, imagine Flesh and Blood without blocking. And that's pretty much what this game is. So there are cool things like the resource system is cool, but from a game point of view, I would say, 4 out of 10. There are things that are better. That's it. Regarding the theme itself, I think I would give it like an 8 out of 10. The theme is really cool. This is something kind of new. I like the fact that there is some lightsaber, there are some guns. So the theme itself is pretty good. So I would give it like 8 out of 10. And the collectible aspect, I mean, actually that's important. I do understand. But the thing is I don't know you guys. I find it cool. I do like the hero. I love those Carlos hero kit and Sanction hero kit. This is typically what I want. But the rest of the card, I don't know what to think about it because you don't have characters per se. I mean, you have your hero, and I would say like as a collectioner, I want every heroes. But that's it. Like the rest is a bit less appealing. The guns kind of look all similar. So there is that. So, as a collector who just want to have cards in a binder, I would give it maybe a 6 out of 10. Except if you're a big fan of the art is really cool. I'm not going to argue with that. But, just because, except the heroes, I don't care that much. The rest would be a bit less, appealing. It can't really compete with things like Pokemon or like any kind of game where you collect monsters. Then in terms of value of those pledge, I think those starter deck are cool, but same, I feel it's a bit too expensive as an entry point. I did get the early bird. I thought it was nice because I don't want to spend more like typically. This box, I forgot how many cards we have. It's only 20 packs. So 20 pack box, I would pay no more than $80. Be it at retail or in Kickstarter. I do Kickstarter a bit less, but here we are typically our price around 100 or 110, I forgot. But I feel they're a bit expensive. And same like the starter, so the early set, the early order, I took it, I think it's nice. But the default price, the $80 here, I don't think that's so great. When I see this $275 pledge on $750, so typically a normal backer, the median backer, not the average, the median, which means kind of statistically speaking, you look at the people in the middle. Those are the key because those are the people who will either collect a bit, play a bit. But this is the mass, and they spend usually around 300. And typically when I see that you can look at an interesting statistic. First, the number of backers, everything under 200 going to make it really hard to be any kind of mainstream. So in terms of investment, that's not something you would really want. But I like to look at the pledge per backer. So I forgot how much is 900 New Zealand dollar, but sorcery was 6,454 backers. So you're going to have enough people interested that is going to exist. So it can't really, turn out something bad. And I believe this is like, if I remember, like $700. So we are on the, high side of things. It means like we have a lot of whales because over 300 typically it's more than a case. 453 for nostalgic, we are still over this kind of threshold that I would say is not super healthy, where we attract those big whale. So like obviously everybody would want like 3,000 backers than just $300. That's much better. But when we look at Vanquisher TCG, we see something quite interesting. We are at 442, so also what I would say is too high. But the thing is, like, it's even worse because here we have some huge pledge. And you can see that when you look at the daily data, like in one day, they lost 9 backers, 42,000. It means like, even if we have read that would mean each of them back 5,000. It's just stupid. It's ridiculous. So it would mean like one person probably back like 20,000 or something. This is not healthy for anything. If we look at projection, well, they're not going to go much lower, and I think they're going to stay around 80 to 90. I would bet they will probably be at 85,000, which actually is kind of lower than my estimation was 120, 130. So I'm a bit surprised. But you don't want a game where you target less than 200 people. And I think, there are several factors. First, the gameplay is not that amazing. Second, we could have benefit from more kits sent out there to people that count, to, content creator that do TCGs, because the percentage of people not in the TCG market that's gonna go in a game that have less than 200 backers is abysmal. It's really small. So yeah, not that amazing. But otherwise, yeah, if you really want to invest in this, and this is kind of cool. I mean, the art is amazing. What I really like is the comics. So I would try to get the comic. But I never advise to go over 300 or maybe 350 for something you would really love. Those are just insanely high, so it doesn't meet much for me. I mean, I don't know any whale like that, like real, like online you hear about them, but like not really something that I meet on a regular basis. But those comics, I would like. I do like a lot the creator. I forgot his name, but it's really cool. I like the playmat. I really like those. Where are they? Those two are really cool. You have to pay for them, I believe. They are add-on. Let's see how much they cost. Sanction Hero costs 20 and this one costs 15. I mean, same, that's quite kind of on the heavy side. Things cost quite a lot, especially when you print in foil. So it makes sense. And it have a small box. Ideally $10 would have been better, but I mean, you do what you want. So I think it's just a bit expensive. But the art is cool. So, what I would recommend, because I don't think, it's not going to revolutionize your life. It's a nice, it's a nice thing to look at. I mean, even though I never look at anything, but I would not go over 150 and get the early bird. Otherwise, if you miss the early bird, it's okay. You can live without it. There are plenty of other cool projects coming out. When you look at, I mean, it's kind of a pity because they had really a nice material, a nice art. And if you compare with games that have actually a very good game system, Primal, it's based on Naruto, very good gaming system. It got 207 backers. An average pledge per backer a bit high for what I like, but it got almost 80,000, which is about the same price as that, where clearly they had much less money. So it really tells you that it's very important to focus on the game, and that, I know I'm very disappointed with how Awaken Realms, that for board game. Sorry guys, how Vanquisher went. But yeah, on the other hand, if you're a whale, you want to invest into something, it's good to have some because there will be not that much out there. But you want to invest into something, keep some money and wait for Rise. Rise TCG is done by a French creator. He's a real artist. I mean, he went to art school. I tried to contract him to get some art done for my channel and for me, for myself. And he have decent price. He's a professional artist, and they use some professional artists here, but it's okay. It's okay. It's something cool to have. You look at Rise TCG, especially if you like some kind of European comics and stuff like that, I think you're going to be blown away. And, if I had $1,000 instead of paying $500 in this one and $500 in the other one, or any other game that I can think of that is out there recently, I would put 1,000 in Rise. There is also a cool game that is coming up in, I believe, next week, or in a couple of weeks. I'm still waiting for my review set. It's called Rift, if I remember correctly. And I can't say anything yet because I didn't get my review set. But, the team has been pretty cool. I don't know, worth looking at. But Vanquisher, finally, my final verdict, I would give it a C+, if you can afford it. Pledge something like 150. Don't give up on other projects because of this one. And don't go all out because you're not going to flip it 5 times over. It's going to stay niche. They targeted a market that is not the usual market, and that's fine, but that was a bit of a gamble. And maybe once I receive some kit and some review stuff, I'm going to tell you something else, but so far I got 0 card yet. So I can't really tell that much more about it. And that's all I had to say. So C+ for Vanquisher, I would say don't back more than $130, $150 for it. And Rise would be what I would wait for in terms of something to back for the end of the year 2022. And then I would go maybe 500 up to 1,000 if you can, because the cards are really amazing. That's all for today. Cheers.